Hey, we're on. Look at
Hey. And you can't see what I'm doing down here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Mad Skills Electric pregame show. Just getting everybody some time. There she is.
Yeah.
Getting everybody some time to get logged in, say hi, how are you? Did anybody do some fishing this week?
Brought the horses in today.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
We're talking horsepower.
Yeah. Edith Power.
Running Mercuries.
Letting everybody get logged in.
Oh.
Got to like, follow, share.
That's it. Got a good prize going on this evening.
Yep.
Little giveaway.
Handpicked by me.
Goodness. She's
Yeah.
pushing me. Holy smokes.
Oh, she'll
This
tip
is
you
a big
over.
dog. Yeah.
She will tip you over.
Oh. My goodness. Big old beast.
Had some decent weather this week. A little breezy.
Yeah, a little
past
bit
2
breezy.
days,
It's
but
been breezy all week. Actually, heck, the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. Looks like we got some more coming in this weekend. too.
Yeah, I hope it slows down a little bit because it was nasty this weekend, but it was doable.
Yeah. Yeah, you had what, 3 charters?
I had 3 charters this weekend.
2 days.
Wore me out.
Act like you're getting old or something.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yep, letting everybody get on. Like I said, like, follow, share this with all your friends, and we'll have a pretty cool prize today.
Yeah. Got a good episode ahead of us.
We'll have to figure out what question we're going to ask. We'll figure something out, though. I think we got something up our sleeve.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Gary's the mad scientist. He'll figure something out. Really cool.
Tonight it was John.
We're supposed to have a special guest, but he sissied out once again.
Yeah,
So we'll have to schedule him for next Tuesday.
that's
He was
okay.
too busy earlier catching fish.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It happens.
The young kids can't keep up no more.
That's it.
Showed me a picture of a green pool he said he was working on.
I hear you. But yeah, we got some cool stuff coming up. Heck, we're going to talk about some the fishing report for this week. We'll talk about a little bit about how.
Tips and techniques on how to fish
Yep.
them.
And maybe a little bit about the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to
Yep.
avoid getting wet, maybe.
That's it. Yeah, gonna need that for this coming weekend.
Yeah. I got rained on Saturday. Was it Saturday afternoon? No, I think it was Sunday afternoon. I got rained on.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Saturday afternoon. I can't remember, but yeah, it was.
I got
The morning.
it twice.
Yeah, the morning got really nice, and came back in and took my second trip out. And as soon as we got out on the second trip, it was a little wet.
And cold too.
Oh yeah, cold and wet.
Yeah.
Love it.
Uh-huh. The joys of
Yeah.
being outdoors.
Still, the fishing was pretty good. On Tackle Table Talk, we'll have something special to talk about. Something that we actually did this weekend. It worked really good. So, give you guys some tips, some of our secrets here at OKM.
Their secrets.
Yeah, not so secret.
I just know where you fish.
Yeah,
That's the only
We're right.
secret I got.
we're gonna show you how we did it. Yeah.
I think you know where everybody fishes.
For the most part, yep. Yep.
He's got
Found a
radar.
couple of guys today that were doing pretty good out there.
Okay.
Wee big.
Yeah. A little bit.
Of course, seeing some of the snook that I'm seeing, they may swallow that.
Oh yeah.
Here, Mario, I got a purple one for you.
Yeah. There it is.
Those are those Maddox specials, man.
Yeah,
the
these things are
XLs.
great.
Good old Maddox. When
Yeah.
you want to go out and chase cobia, grouper, stuff like that, these work.
It's a tremendously good grouper bait.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like them shallow water groupers, that's the way to go. If you're tired of losing $30 plugs.
Yeah. Try to not do that. And if I do it, I try only to do it once.
Yeah. But these things work tremendously good. I love them.
That and they take a beating.
Oh yeah.
So where'd you all fish today? Or yesterday?
Yeah. Or the day before.
Yep. So, well, I think we're about ready to get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
Show me where you fished.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. all born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Welcome to
Fish Talk Live.
presented by some of the best sponsors and businesses and just people all around that you could ever ask for. I tell you what, man, it's what makes this world go around. Billy, big news. We're getting a high-end, state-of-the-art sports complex for youth sports right here in Citrus County. Well, we're at the preliminary stages, but
Yep,
they got
hey.
approved today. So
The fact that they heard it out and they all voted yes on it, that is a huge step.
voted yes. The commissioners were all supportive. Big thank you to Commissioner Diana Finnegan for really championing that subject and hearing the needs of thousands of kids in Citrus County that they need a good, clean place to go play football and all kinds of cool stuff. So excited to see where it goes.
Big sports complex.
Spas and cold water tubs.
Oh,
and
man, let's go. Let's
personalized
go.
locker rooms with helmets and stuff. Big screen TVs.
Now we're talking. Billy, what's going on the airboat, man? What are you seeing?
Ooh, a lot of water. A lot of water.
I know, it's weird, huh?
Finally getting some tides again. Yeah, I mean, as far as the fish goes, honestly, that last pressure change that we just had this weekend, it kind of changed up what was out there on the reef today.
Really?
I didn't see a whole lot moving out there, to be honest with you. You know where I did find redfish? Right in our canal.
What?
Yeah, not even joking. Found 2 of them coming right out of our canal today, both of them within slot limit.
Really?
Could not believe it either.
You don't see that often.
Nope. Even found some of the guys fishing in the rivers, and they seem to be doing pretty good.
Good deal. What about snook? Have you seen any signs of snook or?
Decent amount of them, actually.
Really?
In the riversides, playing down the rivers. Any of the nice culverts that they have? Not culverts, but, indentions in the islands.
Okay.
Seem to be hanging out there right next to where the tide's moving, but not in that movement.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're hanging out the lazy side.
They're lazy fish. That makes a
feel
lot
that.
of sense. That's why, you always fish the lazy water. Fish the calm water.
Yep.
I see so many people make that mistake where they see just a nice current coming around an island and they're fishing that current. Huge proponent on fishing the calm water next to the current.
That's it. Most of our fish are lazy as I am, and I don't blame them. They're looking for that meal to come to them.
That's right.
Yep.
That's why I got married.
Yep.
All right, so I'm kind of interested to see what was caught this week on the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week. So let's check it out and see what was submitted. I know Bree had to pull some photos from Facebook and other social media sites. So let's see what she found.
Some toes.
Toes in the
I
mud.
don't know where Carlos was playing, but he had some shade.
Yeah, what the heck? What's he even
hiding.
doing? There's the boys in the hood. They had an epic day on Sunday.
Size of that trout. Holy
Brody's
smokes.
personal best. Man.
Yes.
That's his PB.
For great reason.
Yep, there's a nice
Whoa.
snook.
Hey, I saw that
That's a
snook
gooder
today.
one.
That is a good
I
one.
saw that snook today. It was slightly over slot, and I even got to watch that release.
There was a cool story on somebody that was fishing, and they said that they were not catching anything, and then you came.
Cruise family.
Tell the story. on
Yeah, they came back to the boat ramp. I had found them playing just off of Mud Creek in Salt River area. They were doing some exploring, playing with their new Ginu. And I had pulled a Yui. I didn't want to go truly passing them, so I pulled a Yui, went back out. And 2 trips later, I come back to the boat ramp, and he said, "You will not believe it." I was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "We didn't catch any fish until you came, did your Yui, left." And he said after that, it was game on.
But I thought airboats ruin fisheries, and
It happens
Ruins
when you
people
think.
fishing.
But when you actually get out there and realize what the airboat's not doing, it's pretty cool.
When
Maybe
Billy,
it's just the crabs that get scared.
Hey, you never know.
When Billy drives it, it attracts fish.
yeah.
I put out a scent, apparently.
Well, it's like a lot of people. I've always heard on charters, you'll see these dolphin coming around the point, and everyone's like, "Oh, there goes the fishing spot." I was like, "No, it's about to amp up."
Yeah, that's it. Give it 2 minutes. Fishing their mud path that they just made.
Yep.
Those fish are actually going to run into that mud path and start looking to see what all gets kicked up.
Exactly.
And it'll surprise you if you actually just any boat, dolphins, like he said, fishing the mud paths.
Yep.
Just give it a sec, and
The
they
other-
may surprise you.
The other thing too is like if they're a little too aggressive, you know, and you don't catch anything a couple minutes afterwards, literally go right behind that island. Wherever you're fishing, you know, go right behind it because they didn't eat the redfish, they didn't eat the snook, they pushed them, they moved them.
That's
so,
it. They're just finding calmer waters.
do we have any other photos, Bray? Do you have the photo of the big redfish? Oh,
That was fun to get to watch them do that snook.
nice
There's a nice
redfish.
red.
Yeah, it is.
Heck yeah.
Junior Santos, getting on them.
He likes to push back into them back waters.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, that's one of mine.
Captain Marrio.
Marrio.
Looks like Justin Wilkerson in the middle.
Yeah, almost. Not quite.
That's a great picture of a cooler there.
Yeah,
Ozzy.
I'm gonna assume that it's full.
It's Ozzy.
Next picture.
Come on.
Open cooler.
Full of
think he
what?
found
We
it.
don't know.
It's only
found
full.
the cooler.
It's
he
only.
found the cooler.
gonna say, there's
Now
only-
I'm curious on what's inside.
There's only one thing that's full of something on Ozzy's boat. And that's shit.
And it's him. That's
Nice
a good
red
looking
fish.
red.
Yeah, that's pretty red.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Like Teddy's.
I think that was their winning red right there.
Teddy's growing that beard out.
Won that
There it
tournament.
is.
Look at that. Winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah,
How
took
about
first
that?
place.
Old Mark Hammer. Big old redfish there. Nice one.
Studs.
Lots
Yeah.
of redfish caught this week.
Look at that flounder.
Ooh, nice doormat. The
Thumbs
size
up.
of a trout. Holy smokes. Good fish.
And he's on fire this week.
Man.
You aren't joking. Good fish. Glad to see somebody made it out there fishing. I didn't get to.
Wasn't me either. I fished for shrimp out of the shrimp tank.
Oh, nice. Did you find the last dozen?
Yeah.
All right. That being said, that was the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week. If we forget to post the photo, you know,
Happens.
don't be afraid to message us those photos, you know, on Facebook and Twitter or whatever else is out there. So again, that was the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week. Always love seeing what people caught, Billy.
100%.
All right, let's hit a commercial break, and I want to hear from Captain Marrio over there on the Ayinde Matthews State Farm casting couch, and hear some of these secrets on the catching these fish.
Excited.
Come join the fastest growing redfish series in the country as they kick off their 2025 season at Seahag Marina in Steinhatchee on January 25th, Panama City February 22nd, Jacksonville March 15th, Panacea April 12th, Cedar Key May 10th, St. Augustine May 31st. Then join us as we crown our champions September 19th and 20th in Steinhatchee at Seahag Marina. For more information, visit our website, flredfishseries.com, or check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Welcome back to the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch. I'm Captain Mario Castello, and we are going to give you a little fishing report, what we've had this week. By all the pictures on the catch of the week, it looks like everyone's went out this weekend. Me too. We had a bunch of trips this weekend and ended up doing really good on the trout. They're still in the backwaters doing their thing.
Join this comfortable.
Yeah,
couch
come
with
on,
you.
man.
This looks way too comfy.
Oh yeah, it's way too comfortable. But you got out this weekend too, didn't you?
Yeah, Sunday.
I've seen you out there a couple of times, but yeah, the trout bite is still on fire. I mean, we're getting them all the way from way back inside to the edges, right there at the edges of the river. Any of your deep troughs and your potholes. We're seeing lots of bait movement. Water's starting to warm up just a little bit. It is a little bit windy out there, but that's why we like staying tucked in the backcountry. But man, we're getting quite a few trout. Redfish bite's been pretty good. You did pretty good on the redfish this weekend also.
Redfish was my golden ticket. Trout, you know, had those three young men on the boat, so they weren't as patient for the trout as we needed. So,
It
but yeah, no, we tucked it. We ran down to Chassawisca, and one of the boys caught a 37-inch redfish.
That's a big
about
one.
2 foot of water. As I'm sitting there teetering on alligator back rock.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing I noticed though. Mario is making that run. The amount of ladyfish, I mean, everywhere. I mean, for 3 miles straight, like past Mason's Creek and in that bay,
species I'm seeing a lot.
Ladyfish, yeah. I mean, they were all over. We ended up catching one, and that was the golden. That was the beta choice.
Yep.
I mean, for those redfish, it would barely slap the water, and they were blowing up on it. And then we switched to pinfish, and it took 45 seconds, a minute, and then it was less aggressive a hit. But that ladyfish smoked it every time.
Flavor of the day. I'm telling you, you don't want to pass them up because we always, whenever we catch a handful of ladyfish, if we get into a big school of them, I don't want to move off too quick. We'll keep 3 or 4 of them just for cut bait, and you can freeze them too. I mean, you can brine them up and freeze them, and they stay okay. If you freeze them like normal, when you cut them up, they fall apart kind of bad. But if you salt brine them, they actually stay pretty tough.
Yeah, I want to try that. You talked about that last week, and definitely want to try it.
Oh yeah, but it's a great cut bait. Everybody likes using cut bait. Cut mullet works really good. Cut pinfish, just about anything.
Yeah.
It works really, really well.
Cut barracuda.
Yeah.
When it does come to a cut bait, what is the absolute go-to if you have a choice?
Actually, my choice would be a cut ladyfish.
Cut lady?
Yeah, cut ladyfish seems to work really well because it doesn't only catch redfish, but we're going to catch snook as well. Yeah, and you can actually take that ladyfish and cut it up into strips instead of chunks, and you can use them for drifting for trout.
Oh,
Yeah.
there
Oh,
you
yeah.
go.
Well, that's what Brody caught that big trout on.
Yeah.
Was cut ladyfish.
I mean, it's got a nice shimmer to it.
You mentioned the water starting to warm up. I just looked. It was just under 70 degrees. When did those trout really start to push out? Because trout are more of a wintertime fish.
Right. Well, if you're fishing in the backcountry, my water temperature is going to be between 62 and 70. Once it starts to get above 72, we start seeing them move out. They go to more of their spring and summertime places, a little bit deeper water, out in the open flats, like your typical trout fishing would be. Break out the popping corks, the jigs.
So about 72 then.
Yeah, 72 is about the magic number when they start moving out there. I mean, some of them move out a little bit before that, and some of them move out a little bit after that. Uh-oh.
You should have never started with them, Billy.
By the dogs.
You should have never started with them.
Edith has the zoomies. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Yeah, that's you.
So I'll be honest, when Billy's question, ladyfish, number 2. That, what's it called, Senate, whatever they're called?
A Senate, yeah, that's like a cousin to the barracuda. We have them here. We have quite a few of them here. It looks like a small barracuda with no spot, or it only has a couple of spots on it instead of, 8, 10, 12 spots all over it. So.
That was like magic bait, but it's just they're hard to find. I mean,
Yeah.
when you find them, they're all over, but you can't really go out and target them. But
Right.
that day that I used those as cut bait, there was nothing comparable in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
that was nuts.
And they feed just like a typical barracuda. They're going to eat just about anything that's moving fast. So if you do find a few of them, they're easy to spot in the water because they sit just like a barracuda. They'll sit just stationary, and then when you move anything in front of it, it'll dart off and try to grab it. So
I haven't seen any of those that are really breaking like 12 inches. You know how big does a Senate get?
not very big. I think
Okay,
the biggest
about
one I've
that.
seen is in the 23, 24-inch range.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
still pretty decent.
Yeah. Great for cut bait. I mean, use them just like ladyfish. Cut them up. They work fantastic because they smell so bad because they got so much oil in them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, they had a distinct smell to them, but it wasn't like a needlefish. It was just real distinct. I don't know, it was something about it. The other good one is the lizardfish.
Yeah, lizardfish. Everybody passes them up, but we'll catch a bunch of them while we're drifting for trout in the open flats. And the bigger ones, I like to cut up for chunk bait or use them for strip bait again for the trout.
It is a perfect little tube of meat.
Yeah.
The
They stay on the hook
longest,
really well.
the longest southern Senate was 2 foot long.
Yeah, that's
wow,
about as
about
big
2
as I've
foot.
ever seen them. So they don't get very big, but they sure do work good for bait.
Aggressive little
yeah.
fish.
And they're cool to see. I mean,
Yeah.
Fooled me.
haven't
I
seen
thought
it.
we had barracuda at first. And I'm like, uh-oh.
yeah.
I mean, in the past, we haven't really seen large amounts of them, but every year we see more and more and more of them. First time I caught one up here was about 6 or 7 years ago, and we're starting to catch them, not on a regular basis, but catching 1 or 2 that first time I've ever seen them, and now we're catching a dozen, 15, 16 of them a year. So they're more plentiful now than they have been.
We should be getting some pelagic species through here too, right?
Oh yeah.
Tarpon should start to move, and
Springtime.
the cobia should start to be moving through.
Yeah. Once that water, that 72 water temperature, once it gets above 72, we'll start seeing all the migratory species come through.
Can't wait to start finding tarpon and cobia and all that fun stuff. Cannot wait to start seeing that.
And they're pretty typical. They're going to be in the same places every year in, year out. They're going to be the same migration patterns, same routes. So you'll start seeing them. If you've ever been out there and you saw an area where you've seen tarpon moving, they're probably going to be there next year too, or this coming up year again.
Yeah, someone showed me a picture of 2 huge cobia back in Fish Creek.
Whoa.
Wow, way back in
Yeah,
the day.
day after a big freeze.
Oh, wow.
I mean, huge cobia too.
That's pretty uncommon. I mean, I've seen some uncommon stuff with cobia. Me and my son were fishing before I started guiding. Me and my son were fishing in Kings Bay, and we ended up seeing 2 big cobia inside of Kings Bay in the freshwater.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It's the craziest thing. Yeah, I don't know why they're back there. They were following bait. I'm sure that's why they were back there. But
I know, like Salt River and stuff like that, just north of here, playing in Crystal River, they turn up all over there. But Kings Bay, that's a good push back.
way back in there. Never seen them since.
You remember that little stint that it was like just a couple days? People were catching. It was like a type of tuna in Fish Creek Bay.
Like Bonita?
Yeah, it wasn't bonita. It was.
Something different. I do remember that, though.
They call them trash tuna. That's the nickname. But like, it wasn't a bonita, but it was. Shoot, what was it called?
I don't know.
It was just like a few days, and people were going in Fish Creek Bay targeting them.
Wow.
And everyone said they tasted good. I mean, but
Little tuning.
No, that's a Bonita.
yeah,
We call them Bobos. Yeah.
I don't know, I thought that was pretty cool. But
yeah.
yeah, a couple of years ago, people were catching bonefish. And
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them caught out here. When I was a kid, we used to fish around the power plant. And it was before they had the things that go across them, but we'd catch bonefish right there.
really,
Yeah. A lot of permit up there too, but don't see them that much anymore.
yeah, that's what I want to go do is find some permit.
Junior said he wants to come on next Tuesday and talk about tarpon. Right, Junior?
Copy that. All right,
These guys are right here, Tarpon Tuesday.
you guys heard it. Next Tuesday is Tarpon Tuesday with Captain Junior Santos.
Sweet.
He just confirmed.
He told me he'd pay me $20 every time I spot and call him.
Billy's about to get rich.
Beer money.
I don't know to tell you, Junior. They were here. Where's my money?
I saw him.
Where my money at?
That's
Cool.
pretty
All
good.
right, so next Tuesday, Tarpon Tuesday with Captain Junior Santos.
Good
Live.
deal. Good deal.
Fish Talk Live Studios.
And obviously the snooker's starting to come around. We got a pretty nice picture from one of our local captains here. Yeah.
Jacobus. Yeah.
Yep.
They had 2 really nice
Someone
ones.
else.
I wish I'd have had the photo when they were both holding them up when I came by. That was, that was
Gene.
made me jealous.
Yeah, Gene.
Oh, yeah,
Gene
Gene
got one
got
this
a nice
weekend
keeper.
also. The Crystal River guys.
I'm finding Dallas out there a lot chasing.
Dallas, Socrates. Those guys are slamming the snook.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, Socrates is getting them in the river though. So
Yeah.
that's cheating.
He finds some big ones, though.
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
He
of them in the
finds some
river.
big ones.
and they're there year round too. A lot of people think they're only there in the wintertime, but they're there all year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get around the docks and pilings and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. When I used to live in Crystal River, it was a lot of snook fishing.
Oh yeah, there's plenty in there.
Those were enjoyable times.
They're all over the place. I mean, they move from the river and they move up to the spoil banks. They'll move up to Yankeetown. They'll be at the mouth of the river and Salt River. They'll be everywhere, just wherever the bait's at. Yeah, they're hungry too. So
Tell you what, let's do this. Billy's got a weather report he wants to go over.
yeah,
So give us the weather report for the week, and then let's come back here, Mario, and kind of help everybody plan their week out of
yeah, we can
fishing.
do that.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
All right, Bree, let's do this weather report. I'm really excited for Captain Billy's. We need to come up with a good name for it.
Nope.
No. Okay.
All right, Billy's got to go back. There we go. Oh, you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
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 So that was today, if I'm not mistaken, because it was a bit on the breezy side today. But as far as the week goes, playing into Wednesday, Thursday, those winds are going to start to calm down quite a bit. Still going to push out of the west for the most part of the day, or for most part of the week.
So we're on Wednesday right now, right?
Yep.
Oh,
And
there we
there's
go.
that calm area.
Can we pause this at all, Bray? There it is.
It's like out in the Gulf out there, probably that 50, 80 miles. It looks like a big low pressure, and it just sets, and it's kind of got a spiral to it, and it brings some nice calm winds for us this week, and then pushing in towards this weekend. Like we were mentioning earlier, it's going to get a bit breezy again with another pressure change. I don't think it's going to be a major front by any means, but definitely going to have some winds, and it looked like rain on potentially. We'll see it come up.
So, Bree, pause it right there for me. All right, so we just made a transition to south winds.
Yep, coming up from the south.
So that's going to be our pre-front winds, right?
Yep,
Those are the winds you want to fish.
absolutely.
I was
Get
gonna
out there
say
the
it's the right
day.
direction.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Get out there a
That's
day or two before the front.
that direction's the magic direction. That's the warmest air coming. Always pre-front when they're coming straight out of the south. Sunday was just like that, and Sunday was excellent.
What do they say? Winds from the south, fish open their mouth, something like that.
Hey, I like it
I
though.
like it
I
a
think
lot.
That's what they say. Yeah.
All right, now we're into Saturday.
Yeah, now we're starting to see those winds push really hard as
Oof.
they go to meet the front.
Dang. Good thing you got football on Saturday.
Yeah, I got a trip on Sunday, so I'm getting real anxious to
I
see.
got a trip on Saturday. So
That's Sunday at 1 o'clock right there.
Not bad though. I mean, it's it's still coming out of the south. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think it was Monday is when right there is where that front is.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah,
see
you
that
can see
line?
the hard
Yeah.
line going from Steenahatchee down, it looks like. And there it's really starting to push through.
So the line is passed. So now we're
Yeah.
on bad fishing.
Yep,
Right.
straight northwest winds.
Monday.
Man,
Tuesday,
no water.
Tuesday,
17 mile an hour, 17 knots.
It's going to push well. So yeah, getting out this week towards the end of the week, your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be a stunning fishing week.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This
I'm ex-
weekend,
I'm excited for Sunday.
yeah,
You can catch or you can cast real far in those winds.
in one direction.
Position it right. Yeah.
Cast really far in one direction. And that day will be north.
It all depends on how you position the boat.
That's it.
All
What
right,
side
so-
of the island we playing?
So it looks like a good week of fishing.
Yeah.
Weekend, as long as you could tolerate the winds. Feeling good with the weekend.
Oh yeah, I think so. When it's coming out of the south or the southwest or west, there's always places to hide in the backcountry, that's fantastic about this area. I love it. And there's going to be plenty of water. South winds, southwest winds, west winds is always going to push that water in. Even the big boat guys can get back into some of those waters where they don't normally go.
You know, on the days I'm here, I'm always explaining, and when I do my tours, I'm always explaining how the wind affects our area. Do you guys want to dive into that for a couple brief seconds?
I can do that. The wind has a lot to do with how hard or how high the tide gets in our area. It's going to do that in any area, but it just so happens that our average water depth here is only about 2 or 3 feet deep.
Yep.
So when you have a 10 mile an hour, 15 mile an hour southwest wind come in, pushes all that water in, maybe a foot higher than it normally is. Well, when you're in an area that's roughly 10, 12, 14 feet deep, just say Tampa Bay, you don't see the difference in it. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But when you're in an area where the average water depth is 2 to 3 feet, you get an extra foot of water. You have twice as much area to fish because there's more water up under the shore. And again, you can get the bigger boats can get back into where they normally wouldn't go. And your electronics, a lot of those guys, they don't go back there all the time, so they have to rely on their electronics to navigate. But you have all that water getting pushed in. Again, if you're in Tampa Bay, it's only the difference is only about a 10, 15% difference. When you're here, it's about a 50% difference because of the depth of the water that it is. So,
Yeah, so if you got like a 1.5 high tide,
yeah, it could be a
and
2.5.
you got you got a larger boat like most of us do. We stick to the red line on Florida Marine Tracks.
Right.
But if you got a strong north or east wind and you've never really fished out of here before,
Danger,
that
danger,
1.5 is really going to be like a 0.5.
0.5.
Yeah, that's
and
why.
then the oysters are going to come and eat you.
Yes.
That's why this time of the year, especially, you can't look too far out on a tide chart. You cannot predict.
Truly can't.
No, you can't, because that, like Marrio said, the wind, the fronts, all of that plays a factor in the charts, and the weatherman can't predict, weather accurately. So a tide chart
is just a tool in your toolbox, and then you got to delve into the weather and look at the wind.
There's a lot of
okay. Well, this is the wind's going. I'm going to have more water than usual. I should be good.
And the timing is different too, because our tides change dramatically from here at the dock to the mouth of the St. Martin's River. It's only about a 3.5, 4 mile run, but there's a 3-hour difference.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3.5 hour.
Yeah, and then you take the wind. And you put a southwest wind to that, that tide's going to be very, very early. It's going to come in really early. And again, if it comes out of the north or the east, it's going to be extremely late. So you really have to watch your tides.
I didn't even think about it. The time.
Yeah, the timing is different too. Yeah, on top of the height.
When it comes to those stronger winds and pushing that water in, do you prefer fishing an incoming or an outgoing tide?
I prefer fishing always an incoming tide. If I'm and now this is for redfish. I like the incoming. I like the very bottom of the low tide. I like to leave the dock when the tide's going to be low on the outside. I'll get there just as the tide starts moving. I get set up. And that's my golden hour. But that first hour of incoming, most of those guys can't get out there. I can't say most of them. Some of those guys can't get out to those redfish holes at the dead low.
At that low, yeah.
I can. So I get the cream of the crop before everyone else gets out there.
Because my thought process on a different angle of it, if you started out at a peak high, would it be beneficial to sit at like the little mouths of all the creeks and wait for those fish to pull out of the mangroves and out of those little back creeks?
Now you can, if that's the way you want to fish, then that's great.
It's doable.
Yeah, it's very, very much doable. Getting right to the mouths of the creeks just at the start of the outgoing, that's a great way to do it. I'm usually back in by then, so
right. In my head, I always think, higher water allows the fish to travel further back in food source, and then you're going to catch them on the way back out.
If I was running a bay boat, that's exactly what I would do. But I run a flat bottom.
Yep. You're like me.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a great way to do it. If you're running one of the bigger boats that draft more than 12, 14 inches, that would be my way of choice of doing that. Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's, the other day, we're talking, you were telling me about, a certain way to fish some live shrimp. And Sunday, we're limited on shrimp. Mm-hmm. I went to a different bait, and I used that same technique. So let's do a commercial break. Then when we come back, we'll go over there to the Nature Coast Financial Advisors Tackle Table Talk, and we'll give up all of Marrio's secrets.
Not all of them.
Just this one.
Just this one. One more.
What's going to be impressive, I think, is the hole shot. Like when we get that hole shot stuff dialed in and get the trim command curve all the way up to 100, and we just romp down this thing, like everybody's going to have a holy shit moment. It's going to be pretty awesome. I've experienced it. It's pretty cool, man.
Welcome back. We're at the Nature Coast Financial Tackle Table Talk. I'm Captain Marrio again, and Gary wants to give up some of my secrets. So
I want you to give up some of your secrets.
He wants me to give up a couple of my secrets. But what he was talking about earlier was we were fishing the other day, and I told him that the trout bite was really good if we were working our baits extremely slow. We were at a transition time. It was we had a pre-front conditions, getting a little bit cold. Anytime the water temperature starts to drop, we try to slow our action down, and it works pretty good, whether you're using bait or whether you're using artificials, either way. But the other day we were running low on shrimp here, so we had a limited supply of bait. We all like using bait because it's easy. Well, for me, it's easy. That's why I like using it. It's sometimes working an artificial bait with 4 people on the boat. It can be difficult if they're unexperienced fishermen or have limited experience. So yes, we do throw bait, and it works really well. Like I said, because it's easy. But we didn't have a whole lot of bait that day, so what we were talking about was dead sticking artificial baits, which also works really good. It works better if you have scented baits, but you don't need scented baits to dead stick. And there's a couple of ways to do it too. The typical way you're dead sticking a bait is you're throwing it out. We'll just say an artificial like a gulp or any kind of scented bait. You're throwing it out and getting it down to the bottom, and you're either letting it sit still and just moving it slightly every now and again, or you're just dragging it so slow across the bottom. And that's how we were doing the regular bait, the live bait. But since we didn't have any live bait, Gary decided to use the artificials and do the same thing. And it worked great. It was fantastic for the trout. It's not a typical way you would normally fish for trout. Everybody likes to drift over the potholes and open flats and run a popping cork, make as much noise as you possibly can. And that works pretty good too, but only when the conditions are right. The conditions we had this weekend, again, dead sticking a bait was the way to go. And I want to say I think he was using a gulp bait. Gulps work great. They're scented. They don't last very long on the hook. I mean, you'll go through a whole bunch of them. If you're trying to save money, it's not going to work because
about $1.50 a piece.
Yeah, you'll burn through more gulp baits than you would live shrimp, and they're about $8 a pack. And
They've actually changed. They changed. Those things became very hardy. I feel like almost too hardy, actually.
Really?
Yeah, very hardy.
Wow.
But I feel like they lose their scent a lot faster, so I was changing them out more frequently the other day, because you'd feel, it was every cast, boom, boom, trout, and then after the 3rd, 4th cast, it was like
die off.
Yeah, die off, and I was like, what's going on? And I was they were so hardy that I had to use my Bubba pliers to take them off. I'm not even joking you.
Right.
That barb sunk down in them. Switched it out, boom, boom. Trout, boom, boom, trout.
I can't wait to see you try and get the dried out one that's on your jig still. If they're getting hardier, that's going to be
from
tough.
3 inches to a quarter inch.
It shrinks up pretty quick.
Good old winter time.
We all know about that.
It's the season.
But the gulps work really good for doing the dead sticking if you're going to run plastics, because you don't really have to do a whole lot of work with it. That's the one thing. You don't want to leave it on your hook when you're taking your rods away either, because they will dry up and shrivel up, and they become concrete after that. They're very difficult to get off your jigs if you reuse them. But that's one way to do it, to dead stick them. The other way to do it is with one of these DOA glows or any jerk bait, any of the bigger jerk baits. But instead of putting it on a jig head, we just use the J hook or the circle hook in the nose. Everybody nose hooks it's a popular way to do it out here. What people don't really know is that you can dead stick that. You throw it out and let it sink really slow, and that thing just flutters on the way down. When it gets to the bottom, drag it up, let it flutter back on the way down. That's another way to dead stick it. And these trout will hit it on its way down, as it's fluttering on its way down. Right before it hits the bottom, usually you'll get the thump from the trout. And that's the second way to dead stick a bait. But the DOA glow, the 5.5 glow, or the Arkansas glow, whatever color you're using, it's a fantastic bait to dead stick, which people don't really do all the time. But
yeah,
that's a little secret that some of the guides up here talk to each other about. And I just told everybody. So. Mark Nichols, if you're out there listening, here, I just made another $500 in sales for you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like a lot of people see artificial baits, soft plastics, worked really aggressively.
Yeah.
You know, 75% of the time, that's how I work mine. But again, you know, the fish are either there and hungry, not there.
Or they're not hungry.
Or they're not hungry. They're there and not hungry. But before you leave, just switch your action up.
Yeah.
Slow it down. You know, slow it down a lot. Make it a little less intense. And you're going to find that you were fishing fish the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, you just weren't working the bait right.
I was like talking to Jacob and Junior today. When they found the snook, they said they went through about 4 or 5 different tails trying to figure out what those snook were going to finally eat. And they wouldn't tell me what it was. They said you would know, and it was some secret sauce. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll call it Jacob's secret sauce. That was so funny. Junior came in the other day. He's like, yeah, Jacob has this secret bait. Calls it Jacob's secret sauce. I'm like, oh, yeah, huh?
If it's called
I know that
Jacob's
one.
secret sauce, I do not want to know what it is.
That's where the scented part comes in.
Yeah.
We had no problem getting those baits. Zero. We talked about them one time on this dang show.
Yeah.
I went to order them today when
Sold
Brian
out.
was here.
Sold out.
Can't get them anywhere.
Go figure.
Yep. Golden Shiner.
Golden
The
Shiner.
DOA
good
Golden
color.
Shiner.
Sorry, Jacob, I didn't say it. Secret sauce.
Yeah. Any of those DOA baits work fantastic. Mark Nichols has put a lot of time and effort into the research. He's been doing it forever. He's been doing it since I was a kid. I remember I took him fishing about 8 or 9 years ago on a writer's event, and he was talking about when he would have grown adults come up to him at some of these seminars, and they would say, well, you know, when I was a kid, we used to go dumpster diving in Stewart and over at your place and get all the clippings and the bad pieces that you had that you threw out, and we use them for bait, and they work fantastic. Well, that's how long he's been doing it. I mean, he's been making these things since I was a kid, and I'm 51 years old, so it's got to be a long time. But he says you know you're old when you get to see that.
Yeah.
And when grown men come up to you and say, when I was a kid, I used to dumpster dive in the back of your place. But
awesome.
that, and he said there was another thing he said. He said, you know you've made it as a bait manufacturer when you start seeing your lures hanging from power lines all over the place.
Yeah, that's funny.
So that's the other way you know you've made it.
Must have visited Ozello.
So what does DOA stand for?
Deadly
Dead on arrival?
anything.
A what?
Deadly on anything.
Oh. I figured it was dead on arrival since it's
No.
soft plastic.
No, that's what he calls it, deadly on anything.
Nice.
And the Cal, which is the Cal 5.5, is the catch anything lure.
I like that.
CAL.
Yep, I like that.
And
I
the
mean,
so
named it
much.
well.
Yeah.
Catch anything.
The 5.5 just means it's 5.5 inches long. That's what she said. Sorry. I had to say it. Sorry. Sorry, kids. Go to bed. But that's the 2 ways that we dead stick bait. And it works really good. Both ways work really good. Like I said, I like using that 5.5 cal on just either a J hook or a circle hook. I'm mostly a J hook. I'm kind of old school. Circle hooks work pretty good. I just have a thing when you're fishing in an area that has snook. I don't like switching hooks out because I do not use circle hooks for snook. Specifically because I don't know if you've ever seen a snook eat one of these baits, but when a snook hits it, I'll tell you, when a trout or a redfish hits one of these baits, they're going to grab a hold of it and turn immediately. So that circle hook works great, works fantastic, even for trout. Works really good for trout because they turn. The snook comes up and hits this bait, he's going to hit it from behind, and he's going to keep going forward. He won't turn.
Can't set a circle
So
either.
you can't get a circle hook. It's very difficult to get a circle hook in a snook's mouth with this bait. So I like using the J hooks. As soon as I see that snook grab a hold of it and see that white shut down on his mouth, it comes tight.
Full
So,
send it.
yeah. So I know circle hooks are all for the what do you call it for the like tree huggers and stuff like that, whatever you want to call them. But it's for conservation, yes. But if you're snook fishing, they don't work good with this bait specifically because when they hit it, they don't turn, and it's difficult to get a circle hook in there in a snook's mouth.
I'll use the there's a different style circle hook. What's it called?
Not the offset, is it?
Yeah, the offset.
Yeah, offset circle hooks are great because you can use them just like J hooks.
Yes,
And
exactly. Yeah.
If you have people, for me speaking as a guide, if you have people on your boat that are old school and have never used a circle hook but want to learn, offset circle hooks are going to be your way to go because you can actually set the hook on an offset circle hook and it works just like a J hook.
Get back into your bass fishing days.
Yes, you want to set it like it's going in a 2x4. You can still do that with an offset circle hook. The inline circle hooks is what everybody normally uses, and you can't do that because it'll pull right out of his face. So, but that's another tip for you. If you're trying to start using circle hooks, the offset circle hooks might be the way you want to go.
Yeah, and it's like Matt Kleckner won't nose hook anything unless it's a offset.
Yeah, because you can use them either way. Yeah, and it's good. It's good to have.
And with that still allows you to play in compliance for a reef fish, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being that it is technically still a circle hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't specify offset or inline.
As long as it's circle.
Mm-hmm, on a circle hook. So you could use either one.
Nice.
You know, speaking of reef fish, so NOAA published on their website, they haven't made any announcements.
Oh.
But they published on their website a chart. And it says for 2025, reef fish species. Gag grouper is on there from September 1st to December 31st.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. 2 per person, 24 inches, everything the same. September 1 to December 31. Yeah. I love
that makes a world of difference for us.
Was it December 31 or December 1st? I always thought.
Either way.
Yeah.
It's better than July.
I think that is great. I mean,
that works.
Was it July that they did for us last year?
Yeah.
No, it was September 1st.
It was September 1st?
Yeah, but they only gave us 10 days.
Yeah, 8 or 10 days. It was short.
But 4 months is great.
And half of that, the weather was garbage.
Yeah, because it's the wrong time of the season.
If they give us 4 months for grouper this year, that would be great. That would be absolutely fantastic. I'd be tickled.
Oh, yeah.
I might actually be able to catch one.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
the season's not going to help you with that.
This gives them more time out there. I just like that it'll allow those fish to come in and be able to target more of the females versus having to send offshore and hope you don't catch a male, because that's what they were trying to save was the males, from what I understood.
I don't understand why they did that. Yeah, that's kind of because they have all the information from the biology of these things. I'm not sure why they wanted to set it that way.
Yeah, I mean, they got their numbers because it wasn't a very good timing for people to catch a pile of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe that was the direction that they went for. It was just for that poundage.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like it was to help the offshore guys because they took the main part of offshore season away.
Right.
Deep water.
I can understand that because of the economy. Yeah, I mean, economically it does make sense that way, but I just don't. I don't know. I wouldn't put too much weight in that.
What ticks me off is you have 24 days left to scallop season.
Yeah.
That we all survive on.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, it's like, you're only grouper fit. You're only switching from scalloping to grouper just for the hype of it.
Yeah.
If you're running 2 scallop trips a day, you're making the same amount of money, spending less fuel.
A whole lot easier. Even if the scallops aren't plentiful, it's still a lot easier.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, if they open grouper July 1st, I'm still going for grouper.
I don't blame you.
I look forward to it every year.
You got enough guides to go with you guys. You can just
enough of us to run the rest of the charters.
Yeah, farm it out to everybody.
So that'd be pretty sweet if they did open it that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But dead sticking baits, you're gonna want to use scented baits. It works better. You don't have to, but a scented bait works good. And you can take these regular baits like this. You can they make Procure. They make some of the bass stuff, lunker sauce, any of the stuff that makes it more appetizing. I mean, it just works a little bit better if it's scented because it's not moving as fast. So
Sticky old Procure will do it.
yeah, Procure works fantastic. It's very sticky, gets everywhere, but
Yep.
it stays on the bait better than most of these other bait scents. It smells more natural because they use
Actual
real stuff. Yeah. And it works a little bit better.
I
But,
hate when it's on your fingers and it's time
yeah.
to eat.
You do want to scent your baits if you're going to dead stick them. It seems to work better. It ups your percentage a little bit more. But that's the things that I know about dead sticking. Other than dead sticking a live bait, I mean that's almost a gimme. You know, you just, cut bait. You're going to do the same thing. You're just going to let it sit or just move it really, really, really slow.
Yeah.
I've noticed this month has been popping cork month.
It's coming up.
Oh, they're all over the oyster beds right now.
Yeah.
People have lost so many.
They're blooming. They're in the trees
They
too,
are
so
blooming.
They're starting to bloom. Yeah.
Yeah, what, like
Been
May,
tempted to start collecting them again.
April, May. So
Yeah, April and May, and a little bit of maybe the first part of June.
Yeah.
That's when we break out the popping corks for the trout. And
They
then
get out in the grass
You can still
flats.
use them in the summer months too. In the deeper water, they don't work quite as well. In the summer months, we do the same thing. We'll almost dead stick one of these artificials, or cut bait like cut ladyfish in the strips, or what you were talking about. Golly, I can't remember what it was called.
Me?
Yeah, the ones we cut up for bait. The lizard fish.
Oh,
lizard
yeah,
fish.
lizard
We'll cut
fish.
lizard fish into strips, and I put it on either a Carolina jig or just a regular jig head, and drag it really slow in that 10 to 12 foot of water over that spotted bottom. Works really good for the trout too. You just got to make those really long drifts, and I'm just not into making the huge long drifts. But it does catch fish. Just I don't like using popping corks, but it works. It works really good.
I love you. They're so much fun. I just love when you're sitting there popping, and then they just disappear. Like, I don't know what it's about.
I enjoy using them, but I can imagine as a guide when you hear 4 of them going all day long.
It's like music to the ears.
Oh, yeah.
Music to the ears.
ears.
I might like it better if I was actually doing the fishing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can imagine for some of y'all that
I'd
have to hear everybody else's.
I'd probably like that a little bit better. I'd probably like the whole thing a lot better if I did.
I'd probably like fishing again if I fished.
Yeah. No, I still enjoy it. It's just it's work sometimes, you know. You gotta give it to these guides. They're out here every day just beating them down. And it's not easy. It's not. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, you got the best job in the world. No, it's still work. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
especially
work.
putting people on fish that don't normally fish. Trying to teach them in a 7-hour day to be a professional, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But I sure love it. But dead sticking's a way to do it, especially the transition time like now.
Yes.
If you ever have a cold front come in and they're not biting anything else, go slow and low, dead stick baits, use live baits, cut baits and stuff like that, but just slow everything down. And you're bound to catch something pretty nice. Yeah.
I like it. Awesome, man. Thank you, Mario.
Yeah.
All right, so tonight, and we're going to do this a little different. Mm-hmm. In order to win, first you got to share. So we give you guys a second to share. Just share this live feed. It's easy. Hit the share button. Click OK or whatever.
We told
it
you
is.
that at the beginning of the
Share.
show.
All right.
You can check and see if you shared if you do comment right.
So we've got an OCAM cooler bag. We've got to follow the mullet.
That's the same shirt I got on. Look at this. Right here.
Hey, there it is. Love that shirt.
It's the same one.
Got one of those. We've got some of these mirror lures. The bone silvers, another good color. Oh man. Got the new P&Vs, saltwater assassin, and then no CM season.
Hell yeah.
Gotta have some Captain-Ons.
That's the big one right here. That's gold, liquid gold.
If you don't have that on your boat at all times, just for when you're at the fillet station,
Oh yeah.
that's a must-have.
I got one in my bike. I got one in my
Yeah.
truck. I got one downstairs.
It's a
in the
must-have.
office.
Oh, I've got 2 in my football bag.
Yeah.
It gets real, but I do like it though. Like when those museums get fired up and those kids have to run.
Yeah.
They got no other option.
keep them stepping, boys.
All right, number one. So here's the rules for the giveaway. Number one, you can only answer one time.
Oh, man.
That's going to be a fun one.
One time. One time per person.
Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
You can't. So we're looking for a specific number. We'll explain that in a second.
Can't overshoot this.
You can't overshoot it. All right? So you can't go over. All right? The question is, Bree, are you ready to post that photo?
No.
All right.
We
so,
talked about this.
Yeah. All right. So Bree's going to post a photo of a fish, and you have to guess how big this fish is to the quarter
Length.
inch. Yeah.
How long?
How long? The length of this fish to the quarter inch.
Yeah.
But you can't go over. So you can be exact, but you can't go over. If you go over, automatically out.
I did give a slight hint earlier because John was giving me the.
Oh, is that what's happening? Oh, now I get it.
The airboat
So,
photo.
No, not the airboat
Oh,
photo.
man.
The other one.
Not the airboat photo, the other photo.
All right, there
There
it
you
is.
go.
How long?
Was that fish?
How long was that fish there? Caught in the St. Martin's River.
Yep.
How long was that snook that Captain Jacob Imhoff, also known as Jack? A lot of people call him Jack. I don't know if you know that or not.
Nope.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why do they call him Jack?
Say his whole name.
Jacob.
Jack Imhoff.
Oh.
That's M. It's actually pronounced M.
I got you.
Yeah, I know you know, Junior. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah. Junior
How
doesn't
long
count.
was that snook?
Just because you were the cameraman
Can't
doesn't
go
mean you're in.
over. How long was it? The
We've got
closest
some
quarter
solid
inch.
answers, but nothing yet.
Has anyone went over yet?
Almost everybody.
If that's another hint for you.
So if I was
everybody's
answering,
going
I
over.
would answer one.
Right.
Like the Price is Right.
My grandma and I used to sit down and watch it all the time. Miss that show.
I'll wager $1.
Who is? Drew Carey. Is that who does The Price is Right now?
I think so,
Drew
yeah.
Carey. Yeah. Must be Bob. Was it Bob Barker?
Bob Barker.
Yeah, Bob Barker at the time.
Bless his soul.
Remember Happy Gilmore, the movie?
Yeah.
Where him and Bob Barker get into it. All right.
Do we have a wiener?
Nobody
see.
exact.
Nobody exact?
All right. So we'll give it.
Wait, Austin, you can only comment one time.
All right, so you got
Somebody's not listening to the rules.
Yep.
We have one.
We have
Exact.
Wow.
Who did Jacob text?
Yeah, no joke.
Mark Sturgeon.
Mark Sturgeon. Congratulations. What was it?
What was his
33?
answer?
35 3/4 inches.
35. Was it 35?
That's what Jacob said. I got it in a text
3/4.
message.
Yeah, it was over slot.
Third. Yeah,
Yeah.
but 33 3/4 would be overslot.
Yeah.
32 would be over slot.
No.
No.
32
No.
and a quarter.
No.
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 It's up to 33.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
28 to
Atlantic. The
Yeah.
Atlantic is.
We're in
up
the
to
Gulf of
32.
America.
Yeah,
dude.
35 and 3/4 inches.
Oh, so congratulations, was Mark? Mark, congratulations! You won this care package here, man.
Come pay us a visit.
Come pay us a visit, pick it up. We got 2 that haven't been picked up yet, so.
We might just bundle them and give them away again.
At the commission meeting today, they're talking about some offshore reef that they're trying to get funding for or something to do off of Citrus County,
Interesting.
and
As in building one.
yeah, some sort of grant. Sounds pretty cool. Doesn't sound expensive to the taxpayers, and I like it so far.
Yeah.
Somebody said Gulf of Mexico, and there was a real serious conversation. Somebody said Gulf of Mexico. The whole room went quiet. Whole room went quiet. Then all of a sudden, one of the other county commissioners said, Gulf of America. Just like that. Everybody started cheering. It was awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching Fish Talk Live right here at OKM Studios. Thank you to our sponsors. We got Seakeeper, Power Pole Move, Abyss Battery,
Mad skills.
Spring Ayinde
Decalz.
Matthews. Got Gary Marriage over there at Nature Coast Financial Advisors. We got some amazing people that back this show, including you all. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you next Tuesday.